Okay, good, lovely. Hello, good morning. Happy Saturday. Hope you have a lovely Saturday morning so far and the sun is shining wherever you are. Really excited this morning because we are going to go through our beautiful floral collection and sample that today. Really one of my favourites out of our collection. They're all my favourite, but really love this one. It's full of lovely, wonderful, fascinating interpretations of the floral notes, and obviously there are numerous florals available in the world of perfumery, so really exciting to try these. So you will have received either a floral collection looking like this, which you would have purchased from our website directly at the Perfume Studio, or you may have purchased it at one of our nationwide classes or private parties, or you may have received pretty much exactly the same thing in this white box, and aside from the packaging, they're pretty much exactly the same with regard to what's included, with the exception of the atomizer bottle that you're going to blend the perfume into at the end. This you would have maybe received from one of our supplier partners, so Red Letter Days by Gift, Virgin, Smartbox, someone like that. So there we are. So I just want to show you what's inside this one first before we start, and then I'm going to use the white box for the purposes of this morning. So you've got beautiful box when you've taken off the sleeve and tissue paper, and inside you will have a full instruction booklet which you can refer to at any point. It's got everything detailed down in there, so if you feel like you've missed something or you want to check on something, everything is written down in there, so you can always refer back to that. You have 6 9ml blends from our 21 blend collection, and a 30ml glass perfume bottle, pipettes and blotters to sample and make up your fragrance. So just to show you the 30ml glass bottle, it's absolutely beautiful. You just take off the lid and spray like so, and you'll decant your fragrance into that, which I'll show you how to do when we get towards the end of this experience. And then just twist the lid back on nice and tight, and you can start wearing your new bespoke fragrance. So that's our 30ml bottle in this collection. The blends are exactly the same in both of these, so as I say, it's really just the packaging and the bottle. So you've got a 30ml bottle in that one, and this one, same thing, it just will come in a bubble wrap bag, and inside again you've got an instruction booklet. You have also got a compliment slip, and on the reverse of the compliment slip are blend details, how to blend into the atomizer bottles that are included in this collection. And again, I'll talk you through that shortly when we get round to that stage. So you'll have a bubble wrap bag, and inside again the same 6ml blends. So if you want to just pull those out of the bag, if you haven't done that already, and get them set up on your table, probably a good idea at this stage to suggest you have a pen and a paper and a calculator ready in case you want to make any notes, but certainly for writing down the maths on how to blend at the end of the experience. So a pen, paper, calculator, and maybe a nice cup of tea or something like that. Okay, now in here, as opposed to the 30ml glass bottle, you have got 5 6ml atomizer sprays, and that's the difference. Okay, so I'm going to blend into one of these just for today. So I'm going to put aside the other ones. And inside there, along as the same with the other set, you've got your pipettes and blotters, which we're going to use to sample and blend the perfume. Okay, so let's pop that away to one side just for the moment. So I'm delighted that you bought this set. It's absolutely beautiful, and obviously here at the Perfume Studio we're all about bespoke, individual, unique fragrance, and the whole concept is about wearing something that you've designed and no one else is wearing. So really great fun and something really unique to do, and just to say, you can actually register your fragrance at the end of the experience on our website. You just go to our website, click on sign up, follow the details through from there. It'll ask you if you have a fragrance, and you'll click yes, and you'll follow through, fill in all your details, your fragrance name, what you want to call it, and your blend choices, and you'll receive an e-certificate. and you can reorder your fragrance anytime that you want, so it's not just a one-off experience. And I think that's great, because we really want this fragrance that you're making to be one of the main 2 or 3 fragrances you have in your bathroom cupboard at home. So that's the idea, and I just touched on naming your fragrance as well. Yes, you do need to name it, so thinking caps on. I'm sure you'll get inspired as you go through the experience and sniffing the blends. So have a think about what you want to call it. Anything goes. Name, place, how it makes you feel, a date. Call it after your pet. Lots of people call it after their cats or dogs. Anything goes. So see what you can come up with as you go through the experience. Okay, I'm going to showcase these blends in a particular order. You don't have to do the same if you're not doing it right now and you're just listening in. But if you are doing it right now, you might want to follow through the way that I'm doing it. I'll explain why I'm doing it in this way, but as I said, you don't have to. So we've got 6 9 ml blends. And I'm going to start, if you want to put it in a particular order, with 13 musky. Then I am going to move on to number 7, rose floral, then 8, exotic floral, 9, heady floral, and then 16, gentle floral, and then lastly number 1, citrus. So if you want to place them in that order, 13, 7, 8, 9, 16, and 1. As I said, we have a total of 21 blends in our collection that you would experience and sample if you came to one of our classes. So that's why they're not numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a selection of those 21 blends to create our beautiful floral collection today. So florals are huge in perfumery, not just in women's fragrance, but men's fragrance too. But this selection is beautiful, timeless and classic and lovely. I'm sure you're going to enjoy sampling them. So if you want to get your blotters out and just separate them, and on the flat end of the blotter, not the pointed end, because that's the end that we're going to dip into the blend, but on the flat end, if you want to write the number of each of the blends so that we're corresponding that blotter to that blend, and then if you do this again, you have got the right blotter to dip into the same bottle so that you're not cross-contaminating any of the blends. So if you want to just do that first, so I'm going to write number 13 on the flat end of that first one and just place it next to musky. Then we've got 7, 8, 9, and then 16 and 1. So make a note of those, and then you can use those blotters again. It's worth pointing out actually, while I think of it, that each of these blends are replaceable. So if when you're blending you're using, and particularly if you've got this set where you've got a number of different bottles you can use to make up a few different fragrances, if you're using more of one blend than another, these are replaceable. So you can go to our website and buy these 9 ml bottles individually and separately from the set, so do keep that in mind. It's also worth pointing out that each of these blends is actually a fragrance in its own right. So you could just wear a bottle of musky, for example, if you wanted to. Fragrance is made up of top notes, middle notes and base notes, and they all play quite an important role within the fragrance. And I'll tell you a little bit about each as well. And any good high-end fragrance will have a combination of top, middle and base notes, as all of our blends do. So for example, we're going to start with 13 musky, which is a base note. Now it is mainly base notes, but it does have top and middle notes in as well. So it is a whole fragrance, so you could happily just wear a bottle of that if you wanted to. Obviously we're going to try and mix it up, that's the fun of what we're doing. But just be aware they are standalone fragrances. So if you made up fragrances using the other ones and then you wanted to wear that one on its own, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so base notes I just mentioned. Base notes are effectively what gives your fragrance its longevity. It's that long-lasting part of the perfume. So it's what you can smell at the end of the day, or the next morning, or if any of you have pulled a scarf or coat out of your cupboard, 6 months later and you can smell your perfume. That's the base notes. So that lovely, long-lasting back part of the perfume that really lingers. So we're going to start with our first base note, our only base note in this collection, which is number 13, musky. So if you want to, we're going to dip just the pointed end of the blotter in. Okay, you don't need to dip it too far. You're just going to give it a gentle waft under your nose, take in the aroma, close your eyes if it helps you, and decide whether you like it or not. Try not to let this blotter touch your actual skin, because you don't want this one affecting the next one that you're going to try, because you've got 6 to try altogether. So just take the lid off very carefully. Make sure you've got everything laid out on a nice flat surface to avoid any spillage. It has happened in the past. Okay, so we're just dipping a little bit of the end of the tip of the blotter in, pop the lid back on, so that's nice and secure, and take in the aroma and have a smell and decide whether you like it or not. Now what I'm going to do is give you a brief description of some of the blends and the key ingredients which are in each blend. Each blend actually does have 50 to 100 plus different ingredients in. I'll just give you the key notes that are in here. And something we do just for a bit of fun, which we do at our classes and our hen parties that we run around the country. We have a personality evocation, so what the wearer might be like if they like a particular blend. So I'll read those out as well. It's just a little bit of fun. We all need a bit of that at the moment, don't we? Okay, so 13 musky. So have a smell and see what you think. I absolutely love musky. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it does remind me very much of my youth and the White Musk Body Shop, if any of you are familiar with that. I'm thinking about that when you smell this one. Another beautiful fragrance which I used to wear an awful lot is a fragrance by Dolce & Gabbana, Light Blue. That's got a lot of really musky base notes to it as well. You decide if you like it or not. Perfume's very personal to you, so you be the judge and go with your instincts. I think you'll know when you smell any of these blends if you like it or not. So have a smell and see what you think. So the description for this, a lovely interpretation of a galaxide musk. It's enhanced with classic florals and fruity shimmers underlined by a lovely warm amber. Really beautiful. So in here you've got coriander, musk, rose and peach. They're the key notes that are in this particular blend. And yeah, as I said, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, Body Shop White Musk. There's a Jovan White Musk fragrance as well. And for the men, a Fuel for Life for Men by Diesel. That's got quite musky base notes to it. If any of the men sampling this are familiar with that particular fragrance. And the wearer of this one is outgoing and individual. So there we are, that's the musk. So pop that down to one side. We're going to smell each of these blends individually at the moment, and then I'm going to show you how you're going to build and construct your fragrance as we get towards the end of the sniffing experience, okay? So let's try the next one. This is our first of our middle notes. Now, middle notes are also referred to as the heart notes of your fragrance. They're really that main body of your perfume. And out of our full 21 collection, we've got quite a few to show you. And here we've got 4 out of the 6 blends that are middle notes. So they're mainly middle notes. Remember, there are top and base notes in here, but these are mainly middle notes. And these are what we're going to try next. They're beautiful. Lots of incredible florals coming up now. So have a smell and see what you think of this first one. Number 7, Rose Floral. I think this is an absolutely beautiful floral note. But you be the judge and see what you think. So, Rose Floral. Very fascinating interpretation of rose. It's very full-bodied, it's heady, it's quite an intense rose note. It embodies femininity. It's combined with a really lovely, captivating violet leaf. Can you smell the violet in here? It ends for a very warm, sort of romantic blend, I think. It's absolutely stunning. Very classic, beautiful floral note. So you've got rose, clove, and there's violet leaf in here as well, and orris. Really, really beautiful. So rose is a really expensive ingredient. It trades at around £8,000–9,000 a litre of absolute rose oil, I think, at the moment, due to the fact that it's very labour intensive to produce. And you've got that lovely violet in there. Some people say it reminds them of Parma violets, a sweet you might have eaten when you were younger. That lovely violet note in there. Very beautiful blend. Similar fragrances, Stella McCartney Stella, Love by Chloe, Yves Saint Laurent Paris. Very lovely, very full-bodied, elegant and girly if you like this blend. That's a description of the wearer or what you may feel like when you wear it. Very beautiful. Okay, now we're going to move on to our blend number 8. This one is really interesting. It's called Exotic Floral, which sounds lovely, doesn't it? So let's take the lid off and try this one. This one's really interesting. I do like this one. have a smell. You decide whether you like it or not. So this is exotic floral. Very intense fusion, exotic white florals. It's got violet leaf in again as well. It also has sandalwood in, which has a really lovely sort of sensuous depth to the blend as well. So you've got jasmine, mandarin, that's a top note, violet leaf, sandalwood. There's a hint of blackcurrant in here as well, and a little bit of vanilla, if you can smell that. You do have a dry down time with fragrance, so it's worth revisiting these blends in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, have another smell, see how the fragrance is developing on the blotter. It may improve for you, it may be the other way. You may not like it later on, but do revisit the blends because they will change and they will develop as time goes on the blotter. Okay, really, really lovely blend this one then. And the wear of exotic floral is sensual and playful. There we are, that sounds fun. Right, okay. Now, fragrance, I must say, is very personal, so you must never be influenced by anyone else because you're going to be wearing it, so you must go with your instincts. If you're enjoying this experience with somebody else right now, go with what you like. They can tell you what they like, but make sure you go with what you like because you're wearing it at the end of the day. That said, this next one's one of my favourites. It's number 9, Heady Floral. Have a smell and you judge and see if you like it. So Heady Floral. It's very intense, but it's quite powdery, and that's because it's got some aldehydic notes in, which are a slightly sort of powdery note, very similar actually to Chanel 5. That's got lots of powdery notes in it. But yes, very intense, powdery bouquet. It's got bold florals, it's got jasmine, it's got ylang-ylang, and the lovely distinctive scent of very alluring tuberose, a beautiful, tall, slim white flower that some of you may be familiar with. And again, it's rounded off with lovely full-bodied sandalwood. Really, really beautiful. I love this one. So jasmine, ylang-ylang, sandalwood and tuberose are the key notes in this blend. Similar fragrances, probably Amoureuse, Givenchy. For the men, there's a Michael Kors, I think it's Michael for Men, by Michael Kors, and a Givenchy fragrance as well, that has those similar sort of heady floral notes in there. Really, really lovely. And the wear of this is hot and sexy, if you like that. Okay, right, let's move on to the last of our floral notes, and this is the last of our middle notes. Remember, we're on our middle notes at the moment, that main heart note of your fragrance. And this is our final floral note, and this is beautiful. This is number 16. It's called Gentle Floral. I love this one. We have a lot of guys who choose this one in their fragrance as well, actually, when we're going through our classes. I think this is beautiful. It's very delicate. It's quite easy on the nose. I think if you're not really into your florals and don't want it too strong, then maybe this one might be one that you might choose. A lovely harmony of delicate sheer florals. It's got a freshness derived from accents of lovely elegant lily of the valley. And it's got bursts of sparkling citruses in, which are top notes, which is really, really beautiful. So bergamot tea, cardamom in here, really, really lovely. And the wear of this, I'd say, is feminine, very much so. It's a very beautiful feminine blend. Lovely, really lovely, easy on the nose, gentle, floral. Okay, so we're going to move on now to our top note. Now we've got one top note in this collection, and this is our blend number 1. It's called Citrus, and it's a great top note to have because citrus notes work beautifully with any of the other blends. They won't detract from them at all. In fact, they'll only enhance them. So this is a really good top note to have from our collection. If you like citrus, of course, you may not. And don't think, if you don't like it, that you've got to put it in. You haven't. Remember, each of these blends has top, middle and base notes in. So don't think you've got to have the base note or you've got to have a top note in. You've got to have a middle note. You don't, okay? It's really up to you what ones you want to choose to put in. So let's try this top note. Now, top notes, just to tell you a little bit about top notes, they are very much the first impression. They're that wow factor when you first spray a perfume. So they're quite important because often people will make a judgment straight away when they first smell a fragrance as to whether they like it or not and whether they're going to buy it or not. Bit of advice, don't ever buy anything on that first spray. always go back to that blotter maybe an hour later and see if you still like the blend, because top notes are very lovely. They're that first impression, that wow factor, but the molecules in top notes are very volatile, so they disappear very quickly. So the very nature of top notes means that they don't last. They give you that first amazing smell, but then they will go, and they can go quite quickly, which is one of the reasons I do the top notes and sample the top notes last and not at the beginning. They can last 10 minutes, half an hour, and then they're gone. So an important role to play for that first impression, but then your lovely middle notes and base notes will follow through after that. So really lovely top note. Let's have a smell and see what you think. This is citrus, number 1. Have a smell. I love this one. For me as well, especially at this time of year when the spring's in the air and summer's looming, it's a gorgeous, summery, fresh, sparkly, citrusy note to have. So really, really beautiful. You've got lovely, zesty, energising citrus blends of bergamot, grapefruit, mandarin. There's a hint of neroli in here as well, which is really beautiful. Neroli is an extract of orange blossom, if you're not aware of that. Really, really lovely. Very similar to the top notes in CK1, if any of you are familiar with that fragrance. And the wear of this is easygoing if you like that. So there we are, there's our citrus top note, really, really beautiful. Okay, so we have sampled the blends on an individual basis, which is important to do. You may find, well, let me show you. So if you pick up, I'm going to pick up 13 musky, I'm going to pick up number 9 heady floral because I love that. And you're going to start sampling the blends together. So just fan them out like you would with a deck of cards. Let's pick up number 16 gentle floral as well, why not? You're going to fan them out like you would with a deck of cards, and you're going to smell the blends together. Wow. And this is how your fragrance is going to build and how your fragrance is sort of constructing, if you like. You're going to put together one by one those blends that you like and give them a smell and see if you like them together. It's amazing how different one smells on its own to how it then smells when you put it with something else. So you may find, for example, you love the 16 gentle floral, one of those last middle notes that we tried. You think, yeah, I love that. And then you put it with the other blends that you like, and you think, actually, I'm not sure if I like it with those. I liked it on its own, but I don't like it with that one. Equally, there may be a blend, let's just pick one randomly, it doesn't matter, that you think, oh, I'm not sure, let me try it. So you try it with those other blends that you like. Actually, that's really good actually. I really like that. So you do, I would encourage you very much so to have a play around with your blotters, okay? The combinations are endless really, and you know, what you may like on its own, as I said, you may not like with another, or vice versa. So really do have a play around, sit and enjoy these afterwards, and before you start blending, and get to that. I'm sure you'll reach that perfect perfume, and that lovely perfume that you want to wear. That's really nice. I've got currently musky, heady, and exotic, which is gorgeous. I love that. Wow, I'm really delighted with that. Okay, something else you can do now, and the instructions are all in the booklet, don't forget, so please don't forget, you can refer to this, everything is in there, okay? Something else you can do, if there is a blend that you think, I really like that, but I'm finding it quite strong, it's overpowering the other blends, you can put in a half measure. So if you just take that blend that you like, but you want a little bit less of it, just put a kink in your blotter like so. Hopefully you can all see that. There we are. And if you just put the other blotters that you like in front of it, so that that half blend is actually away from the others. It's further away from my nose. If you can see me sniffing, it's now further away from my nose. So that will give you an idea of a half measure. So you can do a half measure of a particular blend. And equally, if there's a blend that you love and you really want that to dominate and lead your fragrance, if you just turn that around and have it closer to your nose when you're sampling, that will give you an idea of a double measure. So halves and double measures are possible. And to be honest, sometimes that can really just fine tune and make that perfect perfume. So do keep that possibility in your mind. If it's too much and too complicated, then don't worry, just stick to an equal measure of each, okay? So I'm going to blend these. I love these three actually. I'm going to blend 13, 9 and 8. Let me just smell that one more time. Gorgeous, yeah, I love that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to blend. Don't do it now because I want you to play around with your blotters and have a good mix and match up. So don't do it now, but I'll just show you how to do it so that you know what you're doing when you get around to making your perfume. So I'm using one of the 6 ml atomizer sprays out of our white box collection. So in order to know how much to blend, it's quite simple. And everything is in the instruction booklet, as I say, but you add up the blends that you've got. I've got 3, 1, 2, 3 in equal measures, 1, 2, 3. I've got a 6 ml bottle, so you just take 6 ml. This is where you might want your calculator. I don't need it in this instance, but you take the bottle size, 6 ml, you divide by the number of blends, 3, and that gives you 2 ml each. Okay, so each of my blends, I'm going to do 2 ml of each into this bottle. Okay, and I'll just talk to you about halves and doubles quickly as well. So if you wanted to do a half measure of one and 2 normal equal measures of the other, you add it up literally as it is. 1, 2 and a half, 2 and a half. So you take, I've got my calculator just here behind this box, you take the bottle size, 6 ml, you divide it by 2.5 and that gives you 2.4. So each whole measure is 2.4 ml. The half measure, you simply divide that by 2. So your half measure will be 1.2 ml. So 2.4, 2.4 and 1.2, and that will fill up your 6 ml. Equally, if you're doing a double measure, so you're having a double of one and equal measures the other two, you count them up as 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 4 in total. So you take 6 ml bottle size, you divide by 4 and that gives you 1.5. So each of the whole measures will be 1.5 and the double measure will be 1.5 times 2. So it will be 3 ml, okay? If you want any clarification or you just want us to go through that again or you don't quite understand or you just want some reassurance, please do get in touch with us, okay? You can reach us at info@theperfumestudio.com if you want to email us, or you can also get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram. Just go to our website, www.theperfumestudio.com, and you'll find ways to get in touch with us there. So please feel free to get in touch with us at any point if you've got any questions now or after when you're creating your fragrance. Okay, and likewise, just to explain, so with a 30 ml bottle, and instructions again are all in here. You've got, say you've chosen, let's say 5 blends, for example. You've got a 30 ml bottle and you're choosing 5 blends out of the 6. You'll take 30, you'll divide it by 5, and that gives you 6 ml. So each of the blends in the 30 ml bottle would be 6 ml, for example. Just worth noting, each of these blends holds 9 ml of fragrance, okay? So just make sure before you blend that you do the maths, write it all down so you know exactly what amount of each blend you're putting into your fragrance bottle. So I'm going for these 3, 13, 8 and 9. So I'm actually going to, just so I don't get confused, move aside the blends that I am not using, just so that I don't get confused. So I've got 13, 8 and 9. Oh, I'm excited about this. Okay, so you've got 3 pipettes. It might be worth making a note on the pipette with a black marker pen what blend you're dipping into, because when you do this again, you can use these again, but you don't want to cross-contaminate like with the blotters. So make a little note on here, 13, 8, 9, and then you can use those pipettes again into that same bottle when you make another fragrance or repeated fragrances. So, take the lid off, and each of these pipettes is a half ml pipette. So if I'm doing 2 ml, I need 4 halves, half 1, 1 and a half 2. Just to remind you how to use these from your school days, you're going to squeeze the bulb, the top bulb of the pipette, place it into the blend and draw up the perfume. Now, you might overdraw beyond the half ml mark. So rather than squeezing down bit by bit, which can lead to air bubbles in your perfume, pipette, just squeeze the bulb, place it in, draw it up, and slowly in one smooth move take it down to the 1/2 ml mark. Okay, again, any questions, just get in touch with us and we'll help you. So 1/2 ml and 1, 1.5 and 2. So I've used 2 ml out of that 9 ml bottle. Plenty of perfume left, which is great. Don't forget you can wear these individual ones on their own as well, as I said earlier on. So now I'm going to move on to exotic floral. I'm using a different pipette. I'm not going to be overly accurate for the purposes of right now. It doesn't matter, but I've shown you, just want to show you how to do it. So going down to 1/2 and 1, 1.5, 2. Obviously I'm doing it quite quickly, but I do this every day, so I'm used to it. Okay, and then finally our lovely blend number 9, Heady Floral. So I'm going to pop that in now as well. And again, another pipette I'm using. 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2. There's my 2. Okay, roughly. There we go. Okay. Right, and then you simply put the atomizer spray lid back on, do it up nice and tightly, give it a really good shake, mix all those beautiful perfume blends together, take the lid off. I'm excited. Have a smell and see what you think. If only it was smelly vision. Right. Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, love that one. I've made some great ones. This is really super. Love this. Okay, so when you've made your fragrance, go to our website, theperfumestudio.com. Click on sign up, which is at the top, fill in your name, email address, and it will ask you if you've got a fragrance. You click yes and follow through from there with your fragrance name and your blend details and in what combination you've added them in terms of half, whole, double. You'll receive an e-certificate and you can reorder your fragrance whenever you want, which is fantastic. And obviously you'll earn reward points as well because that's a reward point scheme that we have when you register your perfume and sign up, so you can use that on future purchases. Hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been helpful. And just to let you know, we have lots of other collections available. These are all available to view already as well. So yeah, enjoy making your perfume and we hope to hear from you soon. Many thanks. Bye for now.